you just hear the name Dame and like I remember I think hearing about it on songs, hearing your name and stuff. I pictured you as like some white guy with like gauges, like smoking cigarettes and wrangling the boys in a Waffle House. You know? That type of shit.
Don't phase a player when you got it out the mud.
Razor blades and steak knives. I've been tweaking. Been up for 8 nights.
Crate and barrel.
Faggot.
Wait. I missed the Asian punchline.
Hey, for the record, I do not. I have nothing against gays. I love y'all. Or lesbians.
I love the juxtaposition.
You can cut that.
Like,
3,
story
2.
Nung.
What's Nung?
1 in Thai.
Oh, nice. We have a Thai assistant.
We have a Thai boy.
Yeah. Whoa.
He's a boy.
Okay, he's not a boy. He's a man.
He's young.
And just to say he's a Thai boy, it makes it sound a little strong, a little servitude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oriented there.
Well,
or maybe he's like
We're not paying him.
or maybe he's like a sex doll or something like that.
Exactly. It felt kind of sexual. My Thai boy upstairs.
Yeah.
There's Kyle's Thai boy, first of all.
This is my Thai boy.
All right.
All right. Welcome.
Oh, I got heat for this episode. But Jarren, how was your week?
My week was very interesting, man. After the last episode, I fucking smoked some weed. And
is it that old weed?
No. Should I advertise? I can advertise this weed. Give me a minute.
Okay, good.
Oh, he's gonna bust it out. Well, Jarren did a classic Jarren walk-off.
And Jarren's gone.
Jarren walk-offs are classic in the first 5 minutes of a high school dropouts episode. I think he's going to retrieve a bag of weed.
I think this is a sign of a good episode.
Yeah.
Jarren walked away within the first 2 minutes.
The walk back.
I think there's some like pathological thing about it.
He's either got to eat or walk away.
Yeah, I think it's
shout out to my nigga Bootleg Kev.
Oh, that's the stuff.
This is weed. It's called One Life.
It's so wild, bro.
Really good weed. This shit had me out of my mind. Weed takes me out of myself, and I get to see myself from the outside. I didn't like it.
How did you smoke it?
I got some pre-rolls too.
It wasn't an enema?
I did look enema sized.
Nug.
Where's it from? California, Washington?
Yeah, it's California. Kev out there with y'all.
LA-based guy.
Yeah.
I will say about
by
the
way of Arizona.
Yo, did you grow up where like the weed? I mean, the weed in the hood was shitty, bro. And
bullshit. That's what I'm saying. Yo, by the time I started smoking crazy weed is when I stopped smoking weed because I was like, wow, I didn't know weed was this insane.
Right. Same. Exactly same.
I grew up with good weed.
Well, you from Seattle.
Yeah, exactly.
Right out here. But like, no, in the East Coast, it was all nasty, stepped on, insect repellent, sticks and shake and all that bullshit. And then now you see the shit in cans like yours. You see all kinds of like, it looks like the Apple store when you walk by a dispensary. It's like, all.
You never had to deal with shitty. I've heard that from people on the West Coast. They never knew what like mids were. Like that's what we called it. It was like
good weed.
It was like $5 a gram.
Mids were like a week ago. Straight up. Like I was like, oh shit, there's like actual levels to this shit. Like yeah.
Yeah, no, because I never. Yeah, the good weed was. It's like another drug too.
Like Redman had it. Redman was the only motherfucker on the East Coast who knew what was up. That's why he was talking about weed.
You know why? It was that one nigga they had named Branson.
Yep.
Yeah, Branson had the good weed. Let me tell you this. Not back the weed we used to smoke, man, on the East Coast. I stopped smoking East Coast weed because I was getting crazy headaches. I wasn't even getting that high. I was like, I gotta stop. This shit is giving me headaches.
It was so garbage. And then motherfuckers would go to the West Coast for the first time and they would be like, yo, like they discover gold and shit.
That's what happened to me.
It's almost two different drugs. I feel like they should be different charges. Like you shouldn't be able to get the same charge for like some shit weed than you can for like some good weed. Like if you have an ounce, they're both the same. It's like, well,
it was fucked up. They were putting weird shit in the weed in Trenton, New Jersey back in the 90s, bro. Like they were putting crack in the weed. They were doing all kinds of shit to get kids hooked. It was fucked up.
It's also over time. Like I got weed from my uncle. Like, okay, so I think I might have told the story, but basically my mom, when she first caught me smoking weed, she like sent me over to my uncle's house. And he's like, he used to be a pothead. He'll set you straight. I go over there like mad scared. And he's like, so your mom tells me you've been smoking weed. yeah. He's like, do you have any? and for the next like 10 years, I was his dealer, and him and all his like, well-to-do white people on this little island out of Seattle. And he couldn't smoke very much because like he's fucking old man, like used to smoking whatever the 60s, 70s, and the weed today apparently is like a million times more potent.
Yeah.
So, he's smoked joints and joints and joints. Now he's like a one puff and he's
good.
But,
that's crazy. What did your mom think?
I don't know, but I started going over there a lot.
How old were you?
Yeah, he's really teaching me a lesson.
15, and then I started going over there a lot, and then he was interested in trying all these different drugs. So like, 1 month he would try ecstasy, 1 month he would try. Yeah.
Wait, so you were expanding your uncle's drug vocabulary?
Yeah.
When he was
and I was selling all this shit to all his friends because he had like a band. It was dope. What?
Oh, my bad. The name of the brand of this weed is One Life. The strain is an indica. It's called Ice Cream Cake.
I think you've already been fired as a spokesman when you said, I don't really fuck with it.
The ice cream cake.
Oh, no. I was just like, I hadn't, it just.
Yeah.
The weed names also have gone too far.
The best was cat piss.
I've never heard of that.
Was this back in the day or now?
I mean, this is like, it was like really high end. I think it would still be high end today. It was like out of the University of Washington, like one of their labs or something. It was next
when
level.
I first heard all the euphemisms like, Maui Wowie and Indica and all this shit, like I just thought it was rappers like being really clever making up nicknames for weed. I didn't know that it was actually a fucking strain, in Cali or whatever that they had, or in Hawaii that they had. Or like when I heard like purpose, I was like, oh, they just using like fucking synonyms and shit but it's like.
But then you see like a little piece of purple weed, and you're like, oh, that's
perp. Oh, yeah.
I remember the first time I ever tried to quit smoking weed. I like had like 4 or 5 days like off weed. And then an old Ludacris album came out where it was like that Blueberry Yum Yum song.
Oh yeah.
And I relapsed off of it. I was like, I need some Blueberry Yum Yum.
Did y'all ever hit dabs or no?
Yeah,
no.
I didn't even know about dabs until probably like 2012.
Yeah.
Wait, is that like Two Hot Knives?
Well, you torch the nail, and then you put it on the nail.
Wait, show yourself for the camera. Show yourself for the camera.
Which camera?
The cameras. This is Moz.
It's Moss, not Moz.
Is he a professional weed smoker?
No, I don't know. Are you a pro weed smoker?
I believe he's still in the camera shot.
Oh, he handles it. No, I think Moss did. So Moss is the Pink Cloud Studios new engineer, assistant engineer. What do you say?
Whatever he wants.
He's our guy.
Tell him to come break down dabs.
Do you know about dabs, bro? Should we have him break it down?
Yeah, come on.
Come here and break it down.
We need you to get on.
Come on.
We only have a moment.
Fast.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
let you stay long.
Our audience, we just preaching to the fucking choir. What up, my man? How you doing?
Aaron, he's a rapper. He's not very good. Tell him what dabs are.
I suck.
Dabs is concentrated weed. Concentrated weed in an oil form. I don't know what it technically is.
Yeah.
And you just hit it, and it goes straight to the dome.
You just hit it.
Oh shit!
Yeah, you have it.
Dude, I used to feel like I was
a dab specialist.
I used to feel like I was peeing myself on it. Like I hit 2 dabs and would be like convinced I was pissing myself.
Yo, I swear to God, I used to have the same shit, bro. If I get to, I feel like I'm pissing myself, but I'm not.
Yeah, no, literally.
I thought that was just me.
I would go to the bathroom and I would be like, "What the fuck?" I'd be like around these older kids and be like, "Am I peeing? I'm like 16. I'm like, am I peeing myself?" From like 2 dabs? We'd be watching like Clerks 2, and all I could think about was like,
very specific.
Am I pissing myself right now?
I swear to God.
Have you ever pissed yourself?
No thing, bro.
So you did dabs, Jarren?
No. If I get too high,
this was last week. What
I feel like I'm fucking like I'm pissing myself, but I'm not. It's weird.
From the weed suppository that you recognize. You out? All right, man. Moss.
Yo.
Good to see you, man.
Thank you. We already spoke about you a minute ago, so good to put a face to the name.
Yeah, man. You'll see. You'll hear.
Good things.
And then you'll comment.
And then you'll
all right, later, man. And then he'll quit.
Also, though, I will say, shout out to old people doing drugs with teenagers. I love that. You know,
the best.
They keep the dream alive.
He had like the level of munchies I was having with like my.
That's so real.
He's like a marine biologist, works for the city, has like a nice house, and I was like,
just doing drugs with old people.
Were you ever the old person, like the older person? I mean.
Yeah, I mean, since I started smoking weed, like before all my friends or before most of them, like definitely like for example, Zach, like who's been at Pink Cloud as a client a couple times. Like there was a bunch of people like in my class that the first time ever smoking weed was me, like shoving a pipe on them, like just hit this, you know?
Oh wow,
weird.
How many of your friends did you get on crack?
None would come with.
No.
Aaron stayed far away.
Aaron Cohen, different Aaron.
Aaron never hit that crack pipe with you.
I don't think Aaron hit the crack.
Aaron never did the crack.
Aaron never hit the.
Who would you smoke crack with?
By yourself? No, like people
random crackheads.
Random crackheads, mostly. Yeah.
In the Seattle hood.
No, well, a little bit towards the end, but mostly in New York.
Any fellow Orthodox Jews that were going in with you? I mean, you don't have to name them, but no. Okay.
I was far out by then, like far out of the deal. I had already moved to New York, and I was like, it was like Harlem and South Bronx.
Gotcha.
I tried to smoke a pill with my friend's stepdad once, and I kept sucking it up, and he was getting so mean at me. And I was like, dude, I'm 16. I've never smoked a pill before. Relax. And he was
I never even heard of that. You smoke what kind of pill?
Like a Roxy, yeah. And you chase it. He said he was like, chase that dragon, boy. And he was like telling me how to hold it. And I was like, and it kept like the pill kept sucking up into the straw. Livid. He's like, you're ruining the high. But
I couldn't do it, man. I can't get high with young kids, man. That's just not me.
Yeah, it's strange, but
I couldn't either.
But the reverse is like it was gold. Whether it was someone who was going to buy you liquor or it was like, yo, thank you, bro, like you said. But now I'm not down to be that dude.
Never. No, I couldn't.
If a kid pulls up to you like, yo, could you? What would you?
Dude, I hung out with like some 50-year-old. We called him Silly Billy. We met him at like the gas station slots. And he would like gamble with us, and then he'd be like getting us cut. But like, dude, he was like 50 something hanging out.
I had a similar shit like that.
16-year-olds.
You had an OG?
I remember homies. We skipped school one time. We went over to these girls' house, and we was coming back, and I think we missed the bus, and we stopped at the fucking gas station. It was this older black guy. He ended up talking to us. He saw us like standing out smoking a little weed, and so he ended up talking to us and wanted to hit the weed. And we had Jamaican rum with us. And this guy took us back to school, but he drank half of the fucking bottle of rum this is a stupid story, on the way to school. But the nigga had to been at least in his fucking 40s, late 40s.
Well, that's what I was saying a couple weeks ago. Is like the hardest thing to get for me was alcohol.
Yeah.
Like as a 15, like all the other drugs, like I had the connects, but alcohol, I needed a live person that was over 21. So I needed the old people.
I had some plugs.
Yeah, I just think it is weird that I think old people doing drugs with kids, like looking like as you get older, it's like, what the fuck was their problem? Like they were in their 50s, like letting us party at their house, and like
I think maybe they had ulterior motives.
We always had theories like that. We're like, did Silly Billy fuck Vic? Like we would always wonder.
Vic.
My buddy Vic.
They were lonely, man. I think sometimes it's just they wanted someone to kick it with, not even on some nasty shit like this, you know.
Well, probably not a lot of people their age do drugs at that level anymore, right? You need someone rambunctious who has like math class tomorrow to like fucking hang out with.
Or they want to recapture like their early years and just be like, yo, like see it through. Like when you watch a movie with someone, you know, and you've seen it already and it's their first time and like you see them light up.
Yeah. That's a great analogy. Yeah, old people. Old people. Yeah. So yeah, shout out.
Besides some weed smoke, what else?
I feel like I did have something significant to say, but I don't remember. You know what I'm gonna start doing? I'm gonna start just writing shit down. So when we come back to do this podcast, I have notes of shit.
I got notes.
I don't have anything. That was it. That was my week. I got fucking high as fuck off of this fucking ice cream cake indica.
Did it taste like ice cream cake or no?
No, I didn't even. No. That would be fucking amazing if it did, because I'm on this fucking diet. I would probably smoke the fuck out of this shit.
That would be dope.
Shit. How y'all diet doing, man? I'm dying.
I'm
That's why they call it dieting.
Killing it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not hating it as much as Max, but I'm also not killing it as much as Max. But I think that Max is a little bit more extreme. So it's like you have a certain calorie budget. I stay really close to the limit. Sometimes I go like 1 or 2 calories over. I'd imagine Max takes it extreme and tries to stay like about 300 to 500 calories under. Is that the case?
I go 300 under plenty of times, but like, yeah, I'm kind of killing it. It's dope. I mean, I'm miserable all the time.
See, I'm not as miserable. But I'm down fucking 8 pounds, bro.
Yeah,
in like 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you got 8 pounds? That's crazy, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I think the first layer of it is like you've been doing the fucked up shit. You stop doing the next level fucked up shit. That's the first 8.
Yeah, no, that's like the first 2 or 3.
Really?
You've really lost probably like 5.
Okay.
Like the first couple is going to be like bloat, and I mean, I don't know, but I think it's always easy to lose the first couple.
Okay.
But then like at 8, you're already losing real shit.
I feel like the more you get into it though, it's like, really?
Diminishing returns for real.
How much are you about this life?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yo, Max, I told Dame 710 y'all time.
Okay, good. He can wait a little.
What does that mean? It's 7:02. We got 8 minutes.
Yeah.
You ain't got to wait. We'll be ready. We'll be ready.
I don't know if we'll be ready.
Oh, really? Oh, well, you got something.
Well, I have something that might turn into an interesting topic. Okay, so I have my week real quick.
Okay.
So some good stuff and some not so good stuff. Good stuff is I got this from Aaron.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what a sweet
That's very
Christian
sweet.
boy.
Bought that for him, Aaron.
Christmas.
Very
I
sweet.
got it. Yeah, I was scared he
That's
already
fucking
had it.
Christmas was 2 months ago. What the fuck y'all
I'll be
doing?
doing that shit too.
Yeah, I just
Whatever.
I just
it
was
came when it came, but it's fucking. I love it. So thank you.
Yes, no
It
problem.
feels good to be loved by friends. He didn't say
Fuck
love
you.
me, but I figure.
Yeah.
No. You told me you loved me earlier today.
Nah, you never did that.
He didn't, but I wished he had.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so interesting. Last night I found out that my girlfriend is an anti-Semite.
Well,
Is this true or are you just bullshit?
So listen, so she's like, I've been wanting to get a gift. So she bought a gift. So I have two nephews, like a 2-year-old and like a 2-month-old. And she's like, she got something for the 2-year-old. She's like, I want to get something for the 2-month-old. And she's like, I know just the thing. I'll get him a piggy bank.
Why is that anti-Semitic?
It's
because Jews.
The kid is 2 months. He doesn't need a piggy bank because he's Jewish. No, I
mean, I would say the money aspect of like the Jewish culture is like dope. So like if you're like she's trying to celebrate that, like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I was
You know what? Piggy banks is some shit you get kids. I remember
a 2-month, maybe like a toddler, maybe a 7-year-old, a 2-month-old. The dude can't even sit
You
up.
don't get a 2-month-old anything. They don't even know they're alive.
I know, but a piggy bank that felt.
She did say it's because Jews are more advanced with money. Is why she said she got it at 2 months instead of waiting.
Hey, at 2 months, that nigga thinking about saving money.
The thing is, the thing with Judaism is
that's what she was.
Judaism. The thing with Jews is like, more like they're saying that Jews are cheap, not that Jews. I mean, so that's the negative part. The part of like, you know, motherfuckers is actually making bread.
It's a fine line. It's a fine line. Bit of a fine line.
I'll be a little hair trigger with it.
Well, we must be to stay safe.
I will say this: last night, Max and his girlfriend were getting in a heated race discussion at 11 o'clock on a Monday.
So we got
about
that.
That's amazing.
About that.
That's
It started
amazing.
out as a joke, and then all of a sudden, like I'm playing Madden, hanging out with Caitlin, and all of a sudden I hear him go. She'd go, all right, then I guess I'm gonna get off the phone now. Like they were like getting seriously.
Wow.
And I was like, it's not racist. I think you might have overheard that. So while we were discussing, it was honestly interesting. She was like, I was like, you're an anti-Semite. That was a joke. And then she was like, you're an anti-Semite.
You guys are using I statements. Real healthy communication tool.
And then she was like, I'm kidding. You can't be an anti-Semite if you're a Jew. And I said, I don't know if that's true. She's like, well, you can't be racist if you're black. And I said, I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, you can, because I hate crackers.
I agree that you can be. And then she was like, you have to be in a position of power to be racist. And I think that's some like new age dumb shit.
That is some new age dumb shit.
Like not for me to tell a black person what's racist or not, but she was wrong. And I went in, which is fine.
Yeah, I don't know enough about that new age side of things. What would you know that argument is?
Well, I think it's part of
the definition of racism, right?
But no, it's not. So I looked up, and it's definitely not part of the definition.
No,
I
it's
think
not.
It comes from.
I can break it down.
It's well, let me say what I said, and maybe I don't have the full picture. I think what it comes from is like, you know, a lot of people right now are claiming, and we've had some experience with like the Tom and whatnot, like reverse racism. And I think that's a good clapback to like reverse racism. Like, no, like black people are not racist against white people. Like y'all are in power, fall back. And I think there's some legitimacy there, but actually be like the meaning of the word does not require you to be in power. And an example I put is like, okay, forget white people for a second. Can black people be racist against Latinos? Can Latinos be racist against black people? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And they're not in power. So that whole idea that you have to be in power, I think is silly.
It's an interesting one. Yeah,
I agree with you. What they're trying to say is that the power structure of the world is it is, you know, United States is white, you know. They're saying it, and they're saying that also financially, black people don't have enough gain in the world to compete with the white race. So they're basically saying the structure of that. I agree with you. It's fucking stupid. I don't think that makes. I think you can be black, you can be any fucking color and be racist. Period. Point blank. I don't think money has anything to do with it.
Well, I just want to real quick. So I think that even, and I said this last night, was like if we're talking about like systemic racism, I don't think that there's, the power has to be there for there to be systemic racism, and that I agree. But one individual to be that, then for sure.
I always thought of racism. The definition I liked the best was that the belief of one race being superior to the other race, right? And so like anyone can believe that.
Exactly. And where it actually came from, our argument last night came from like, can Jews be anti-Semitic, or can Black people be racist against? Of course, they can be racist against Blacks, whites, Latinos, whatever, and vice versa. But originally, where that started from, and I still think it's true, it's a little more complicated. Is like, can Black people be racist against Black people?
So if it got to the point where you were like, okay, I guess I'm going to hang up the phone now. Like, what was her? I mean, because she's a smart person. So what was her? What leg does she have to stand on with that argument? So I'm saying, how was she coming?
She was like, well, no, that's what I heard, and I was like, okay, well, I love you, but you're wrong. But no, it was.
That's what I heard.
Something like, it was weird.
That sounds like the Trump style.
To be fair to her, she was like, oh yeah, no, I think you're right. You're right, or something.
Well, she's gonna have to get on here and explain herself, because right now she's on the same level as Trump to me.
Yeah, she's a bit of a Trumpy. No, I'm joking though. It wasn't really an argument. We were just talking.
Okay,
I'm being dead ass, but. What do you think about, like, can Black people be racist against Black people?
Yeah, I think anyone can be racist against anyone. If the idea of like Uncle Ruckus, on the Boondocks, who was like this sort of like Uncle Tom to the extreme, and he believed that like Black folks were like the worst, and he like praised the white man. He was kind of brainwashed in that way. 100%. If you think about like even back in slavery days, we were taught to sort of like think that that we were inferior. You had the overseer, who was like the Black plantation kind of enforcer, and that person with extreme prejudice, oftentimes was racist. So like, I mean, 100%.
But I'm even go a little farther. Like, I know when people say, can Black people be racist against Black people, and they always refer to to Uncle Tomish. I'm gonna even go off the ledge and say, what's worse than an Uncle Tomish is the systematic fucking shit that we've done to ourselves, as far as music, culture, the violence that we have amongst each other, the fucking the out of nowhere, out of nowhere anger and shit, just like this it's a deeper hatred, self-hatred that's going on in our community, that's deeper than it goes back to that shit, but it's a little bit deeper than the actual Uncle Tom type shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, it stays current and relevant. I agree with that. I think that like any act in that way, like any like ignorant act in the Black community, Black on Black crime, whatever you want to call it, is inherently racist to a certain degree, because there's that brainwashing into like feeling like our lives are worth less, or our fellows are worth less, or our community is worth less in that way. And I mean, I think that shit is wild, man. Like.
So for those of you who are unfamiliar with Damian Ritter, he was one of the founders of Funk Volume, and now he's one of the owners of Music Entrepreneur Club. Also manages some funny ass comedians, Big Job, Minx. Who else, Dame? Who am I?
That's it. So yeah, I manage comedians now. I feel like that's my primary. The Music Entrepreneur Club is a music business education platform. That's more of a passion project. But then I also consult for a couple companies, a music distribution company called Foundation Media, and a text marketing company called Fan Connect. So I'm kind of all over the place, but things are going well. So
shout out to Foundation. Hey, Dame, we got a comedian for you to manage, man. His name is, here you go right there.
I was gonna ask for
shit popping.
Yeah, no, I need to.
No, but got some fucking tips.
Wait, so you got out of rap completely now? You don't mess with it at all?
Not well. I'm still going to put together another 1 week notice project. I still do stuff in music. So with the distribution company and then with the Music Entrepreneur Club, I'm definitely not managing any artists. And
would you ever take on that task again to manage an artist?
Would you like to manage Jarren? Because I'm losing my.
I was the easiest person to manage.
That sounds.
What do you say?
Yes, out of the four, yes.
Thank you.
I would agree with that, but that's also not saying much.
Oh shit. Well, actually, I have a question, yo, because like, what was it like when you met Jarren? Can you like break it down for us, like you meeting Jarren and deciding to sign him, and how what was he like, that whole shit?
Now, Jarren has always been cool. I know he's kind of a space case, like on social media and stuff like that. But to be honest, Jarren was always cool. You know, him and I are very similar in age, almost the same age, I think. You know, so he wild out every once in a while when he's on the road. He does his thing, but when I needed to have a civilized, serious conversation, like he can snap out of it and have the conversation.
Nice.
So yeah, he wasn't as crazy as some people might think. He's very indecisive, and that's frustrating though.
Yeah.
Eating lunch.
I'm gonna tell you what's crazy is that when I first got hip to Funk Volume, Dame sent me a text. I think I didn't even know it. I would have missed the text just because of my space caseness. I think you might have sent me that text like a month, and I got back with you like maybe a month later, some shit like that.
I don't remember it taking that long. I don't remember, that being an issue. I think the what slowed us down with you is just kind of, you just never really had your foot on the gas like the whole time. It was very, I think your indecisiveness slowed you up a little bit. And I just kind of, with all the artists, I kind of just went at their pace, right? If like Dizzy created a lot of music, so it was kind of like go, go, go. And I was like, all right, cool. Jarren was a little bit more methodical and slower paced. So went at his pace. Hopsin was probably even slower than that. So, I just kind of moved at everybody's pace and tried not to put any pressure on anybody to make music.
So, go ahead. No, go ahead. Okay. I just, I'm curious. So, like, what were you doing before? I'm familiar with sort of like hearing of like the Hopsin stuff and Funk Volume. What were you doing before Funk Volume? Were you in music already?
No, I was in corporate. So I had got my MBA. I graduated in 2007, and then I worked as a consultant for Deloitte Consulting in Chicago. So I was unfamiliar with like the music industry, because it took me a while to get adjusted to just how unstructured and sometimes unprofessional this industry is. So it kind of drove me crazy in the beginning, and then I just kind of learned to get used to it.
Now, hey, Dame, so true, hip hop is the most unprofessional, sporadic fucking industry anybody could be in. Is it the same in comedy though?
No. Well, I mean, I'm only dealing with, my sample size is 4 artists in music and now 2 comedians. And, I'm sure there's problem children in comedy, but a comedian actually told me is like, there might be a reason that they're a little easier to deal with because there's maybe more humbling moments when they get on stage and bombing, and just the way that a comedian has to come up these days, or some comedians come up, there's more humbling experiences. I mean, I think artists face humbling experiences, but sometimes, that just the ego overrides it. You still think you're the shit.
Yeah. You see rappers get on stage and like think they're killing it, even though they're not, because they're surrounded by like 5 of their friends and shit like that, or like a couple people in the front row. Whereas a comedian bombs.
Yeah,
fucking rap.
There's no one else you can blame. It's like, and any given night, for the most part, when you're coming up, it's you never know what's a 60-40, maybe, even if you're good, if the crowd doesn't know
you. Super fans there who know the lines.
Or even rap. It's like if someone's at a rap show, rap's pretty similar, regardless of if there's like comedy. Like you can have fucking Jim Gaffigan or like Louis C.K. and Dave Chappelle, so it's.
But I think that in music, there's an opportunity to create a false reality, that sometimes artists actually trick themselves into believing. It's kind of like fake until you make it, and then you keep doing that, and you kind of faked out yourself, and you live in this false reality, and you're still kind of showing off where you're not really at. Well, it's probably harder to do that as a comedian. I don't know how. I mean, because artists will like fake their streams, fake their views, and I guess comedians can fake their views. But I think that there's like the comedy community, it's kind of small, it seems like, and you kind of get called out for doing, weirdo stuff.
They do a lot of calling out in the community. Another thing though, what you were saying, Aaron, the thing with so if you're on stage, it's like this with rap. You deal with the energy of the crowd, right? So when you're bombing as a fucking comedian, that's it. Like there is none. But as a rapper, if the crowd doesn't seem like they into it, you never know, but you still keep going. So you putting a lot of shit in your own mind, like, yo, fuck this shit. You the shit go. You putting on for yourself or whatever. So just because you don't get a response from the crowd in music doesn't mean they don't fuck with you, because you can leave the stage and be like, yo, you killed it. That was dope. Versus comedy.
Right. There's still some people who do response. It though. I've met plenty of comics who bomb every fucking night, and they think
they killed it.
Oh, really? my sample size is small though. Like, and I never set out to be a manager. I never was like, oh man, I really want to be a manager. It was kind of just a manager by default. And then even with the comedians I'm working with, like I've known Big Ja for over 20 years now, and it's really more of like people that I love, that I know are talented, that I think I can help and support. And
that's you and Ja went to school together, right?
Yeah, we went to Cal.
Okay.
And that's how Funk Volume started out too, because my brother pulled me in and met Hopsin. So it wasn't like, oh, Dame's coming from the corporate world, he wants to be a manager. It was just like, I know that I can do this well. I feel like I'm smart enough to do it. I'm organized enough to do it. I build relationships well. I know I can do it, but it's not a passion. It's a passion of mine to help people. And that just so happens this time to come in the form of a manager, but I definitely want to do a lot more things other than manage.
That's so interesting, because it's not so, I mean, I'm obviously like way behind you, but like my path hasn't been too dissimilar. So I was in the corporate world, and then my best friend since I was 5 years old is Aaron Cohen. And actually that's how I first got in contact with you and even Jarren. Was Aaron needed a little bit of help, and I'm like, you're my best friend. I'll do whatever I can to help. I don't know anything about the music business, but I do know business.
Aaron's a rapper.
Yeah, Aaron Cohen, the rapper. And that's kind of how I got involved, just to like help a friend. And then it went a little bit better, and then it was growing a little bit. And then Jarren asked me to come on. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm a fucking rap manager now. So I a year ago, I'm like moved to LA. I'm like, all right, I'm doing this, and it's going. Yeah. But yeah, I too was not set out to do this. But I mean, I love what I'm doing now. But it was like a few years ago, if you told me I was going to be a rep manager, it was completely not even in my purview at all.
I'm going to tell you an interesting fact is damn near every manager I've had, except exception for the last one before you, has taken place as a manager. They wasn't managing. I just, coaxed them into managing. And then all of a sudden they turn into fucking managers.
Maybe next time.
Besides, Dan was already managing Hop and Dizzy before I asked him to manage. I asked Dane to manage me because I was seeing that, Dane was just an organized motherfucker. And my team was kind of sporadic. And then my homie died, who was the manager at the time, and he stepped in. But that's been my same situation, man. Everybody that I've been close to has end up, helping each other, and then they end up getting that role as a manager.
Well, without going too deep into it, I do want to get a synopsis for those who don't know what Funk Volume is. Taking it like obviously it was a wildly successful endeavor at its heights, and then the struggle as things sort of disbanded. But I do want like folks to at least have a little bit more familiarity who don't. So can y'all like take us through that like maybe briefly?
Yeah, so Funk Volume was a record label that I started with Hopsin and my brother in 2008. So it was just the three of us, coming from the corporate world, just trying to figure this shit out. And like, okay, I just realizing that the fans were the most important. So, how do we stack fans? And that's what we did. Hit social media hard at the time. It was MySpace, and then Facebook hit the scene, and we really gravitated to Facebook heavy and just build it from the ground up, literally fan by fan. And while I was kind of figuring out the business end, eventually turned into, some pretty good momentum, a great company, signed Dizzy, signed Jarren, signed some producers, and, the guys were doing what they wanted to do, tour the world, fans, sell music. It was what we set out to do. So it was a pretty successful company. And then, in 2015, at the end of 2015, Hopsin and I butted heads in the most ridiculous fashion ever. And it just kind of crashed and burned super fast. And something that was so special that we poured 8 years of blood, sweat, and tears into, came to a screeching halt. And if you want to know the whole story, we just did Hopsin and I hadn't spoke for 4 years, and, took us a year to make it happen, but we finally sat down and we talked about exactly what happened. and it's on YouTube now. It's a 4-hour conversation, and that's what Funk Volume was. It's a beautiful but unfortunately a very sad story in my opinion.
Well, at the height of it, were you did you feel more successful, more fulfilled than when you were doing your corporate job versus where you are now? Like, you know.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't like consulting at all. Like it was great experience. It was great experience, but I didn't like consulting at all. So I didn't think that I was going to go back into consulting, even if Funk Volume didn't work out. You know, so I thought I'd be running Funk Volume forever. Of course, I have other things that I want to do, but I thought Funk Volume was going to be there forever. You know, now it took me a while. I was in a pretty dark space when things went south. It was pretty whack the way things ended. So I was in a pretty dark space for, you know, like a year or two, trying to pick up the pieces and figure out what the next move was, you know. But since I've been working for Ja, I got that same feeling back, because I feel like what we're about to do is special. He's built a great community. Although I didn't start it with him, you know, I kind of jumped in and helped him, you know, put some fuel on the fire. And I think right now we're working on a sketch comedy show. You know, he got most of his followers by putting out sketches, but now we're packaging it as a sketch comedy show. And he's got, you know, he's writing scripts for movies, and we're getting a lot of traction, a lot of great feedback. You know, got some great meetings set up. I feel like it's deja vu, because when I came from the corporate world into music, I didn't know anything. And now, as we're inching over into television and film, I don't know anything again. So I'm just reaching out to people, building relationships, and trying to make the best moves possible. So I'm excited. I'm just as excited now as I was when we were, you know, starting to make moves with Funk Volume.
What's crazy about Big Ja is that motherfucker, you know, he started out, not even say started out, he was always doing comedy, but he was doing he was a bodyguard for us, mainly Dizzy. But it's crazy to see him go from, you know, and I would, you know, it was times, you know, me and Ja tried to do a couple of, he would talk to me and, you know, tell me his ideas and shit that he wanted to do. And it's just crazy to see like the shit coming into fruition for him. It's like, it's insane.
That's dope.
Like his growth.
Actually, so there were so many dope things that were about to happen with Funk Volume if it would have kept going, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, I was just like, we were about to turn things up from a marketing perspective. I was just getting my handle on like how to use text marketing, how to get numbers, what our ad strategies should be. Like we were just about to turn shit up. But the other thing that we were doing is we were about to get into sketches ourselves. Cause I was like, you know, Jarren's a funny dude. You know, Ja wants to get things going. So I hit up Ja. I was like, look, man, we should just do sketches. Kind of like how Odd Future got on and had their own show. I know for a fact, if we would have done that, we would have had our own show within a year.
I feel like that too.
And we were working on another documentary. We were about to do a lot of stuff that I know Hop didn't really value, but we would have killed it if those things would have came to fruition, because Hop didn't really understand the business. He didn't really understand what I was trying to build from a marketing perspective. He didn't understand the potential of Funk Volume Fitness, which is something else that I thought could have been huge if we kept pouring into it. So yeah, man, it was just sad because I had a lot of ideas that never really got off the ground because it came to an end, but you know, it is what it is.
But it was wildly successful. And I think a lot of people, you know, may not understand that, you know, because, okay, you're not like Arista Records, you know, or you're not like, you know, you don't have Drake, you don't have these, but they don't realize that, you know, a lot of these independent labels and artists like did make a lot of money, right? Like Strange Music type levels and stuff like that. So y'all were like, you know, pretty fucking popping, like, you know, big shows, worldwide tours, etc. Correct?
Yeah, there's a lot of money to be made independently if you know how to build it out. Now it's tough to, I'm not just one of those people that says, hey, you don't need a label, because if you don't go a label route, you got to be able to replicate what they would provide on your own. And most people don't even understand what that means or what that is. But I think we did. We had a solid foundation, you know, and I kind of understood what we needed to do from a marketing perspective. It's just a shame that, you know, I didn't really get to execute everything I wanted to do before it came to an end.
What was it like? So like, let's say like 6 months after it ended, were you like kind of like heartbroken, almost like breaking up with a girl? Like, were you depressed? Were you just
death,
like,
bro,
yeah,
right?
were you just
Dane was doing a lot of cocaine and
yeah, no, I mean, it was definitely a dark spot, because I made the mistake of like immediately trying to jump in and build things with Dizzy. And I was kind of making some of the same mistakes that I made with Hop, you know, one of those being, you know, Hop didn't really understand the business, and it wasn't like, you can't really force anybody to learn something. Well, I tell people in the music industry, if you're working with artists, I'll never work with an artist again that doesn't have any interest in learning the business. Because at some point there's going to be heavy conflicts, especially when you're dealing with someone like Hopsin. So yeah, I was in a pretty dark space, and I probably made some dumb decisions because, you know, when it ended, it was pretty public and embarrassing for me because he released a video that has tens of millions of views that just not true. So I'm over here getting death threats, and to be honest with you, like I felt like I was alone. You know, like the way Jarren handled it, and I'm not hating on Jarren or picking on you, but the way Jarren handled the situation, he was just like, okay, it's your problem. I'll back out of it. You know, Dizzy was kind of support, but I just felt by myself.
Yeah.
And for something that I didn't do anything, like literally I didn't do anything wrong. So I just kind of felt by myself. And that's what kind of put me in a dark space, because now you're operating in an industry. Of course, the people that know me, I didn't lose any of those people. Like if I really know you, they're like, Dame didn't do that. Of course, you know, that's just hops and tripping. But if you're a weaker tie or you just know of me, I'm constantly thinking like, oh, did that person not email me back because they saw the video?
Right.
Did they not call me back because did I not get that job? Because, you know, so you're constantly, it's kind of paranoid to a certain extent, because you don't know why people move the way they move, because the communication in the music industry sucks.
Yeah. In my defense, I knew that coming. I don't think you knew the behind the scenes, like with me and Hop. So me and Hop would talk. I still talk to Hop. You and Hop, the only two people I kind of, after Funk Volume, remain real close with. So I would talk to Hop even in that process of and trying to talk him off that ledge and trying to let him understand the position. I think for me, it was in the sense that I didn't want to publicly go out and necessarily take a side, because it was like, I fuck with y'all. Both of you niggas changed my life. Like it was a situation. If it wasn't for you or if it wasn't for him, I don't know where I would have been. You know what I'm saying? So it was, I didn't want to publicly, choose a side like that. But I did behind the scenes. I talked to Hop and voiced my opinion and told him how I felt about, even before I tried to even talk him off the ledge of releasing the diss record.
I mean, it's just, and I don't hold any, like, I'm in a great place. Like I'm happy. I love Jarren. Like there's no, like, I'm not knocking you. We're just different in that regard. Right. Cause if I got two friends that are publicly going at it, and I know for sure that this cat is wrong. This cat right here, he's wrong. Like he's completely wrong. Cause it's not like, this wasn't like a 50-50 situation, 60-40, 70-30, 80-20. This was like a 99.5 situation. And if my,
okay. Can you like break that down a little bit better? Because like, I know that y'all have this, there's a little bit inside between y'all, but like, give me the 99.5. What you mean by that?
No, I'm talking about whose fault it was.
Okay. Thank you.
Between Hop and myself. So in my situation, like if there was a scenario where I got two friends that are going at it publicly, and I know that this person is extremely wrong, yeah, I'm going at him behind the scenes first, but I'm not even going to be cool with you no more if that's how you roll. Like if I know you did him like that, I'm cutting you off.
See, that's what. See, if I had two friends and one may be wrong, and I'm still cool with them, I'm going to try to fix whatever it is between them and try to voice my opinion. But I couldn't necessarily cut off the friendship. It would, because of how another person.
But I'm just explaining how we're different, because in my world, if you have the ability to do that to him, you have the ability to do that to me, you out of here. That's how, like, there's no way I'm letting one of my friends completely do something crazy to another friend and me still be cool with him. That doesn't.
What are you gonna say, Aaron?
It's just interesting because I'm kind of the same way as Jarren in that way, where I'm like, I'll kind of want to like be homies with, but you know what I mean? I'm a decent peacekeeper of like being friends with both sides, but it is interesting you're talking about publicly, right? Like it's on such a bit, like that's such a small chance of like this stuff happens, I think, in everyday life, right? Like whether you work at a fucking burger shop, some bullshit happens, you know what I mean, where your friends do that. It's just crazy, like it being blown up. And also all the fears that come along with that too, where it's like, well, if I take his side, am I going to get fucked by this side? It's just interesting. I think that like,
well, I want to know, like, and I don't mean to harp, I know this is a dark time, but I want to know, like, on the death threats, like how serious, like, were you Malcolm X in the window with the fucking AK? Like,
man, I wasn't.
That nigga had a tennis racket.
Like that, to me, I mean, I guess stuff has the potential to jump offline into real life, but as much negative stuff that has come my way, like literally nobody has ever confronted to me in a negative way. Like when you know, this video has like 86 million views. And I move, like I've seen a lot of Funk Volume fans in person. You know, I get recognized here, and I'm not a celebrity or nothing, but from time to time, somebody will recognize. And I've never been confronted in real life with any type of negative energy.
I just want to say I was here when you and Hop had that long conversation and hashed it out.
And go check that out on YouTube too.
Folks need to check that out, because that was some like real grown ass, like, you know, like solid stand up shit. You know, like y'all, you know, especially I'll big you up for just like, you know, bringing up the issues, talking about your part in it, but also being able to hold some of the tasks for what they was doing, you know, what they was doing. And yeah, I mean, that was like, I was kind of like, wow, like these motherfuckers is really having a real grown up conversation. So in rap, you don't see that a lot, you know, especially. So I wanted to say I was encouraged by that.
Another thing too, and also when I would do interviews, I would also speak on, you know, me and you doing business. So in my opinion, I would speak not in defense, just I would talk about my experience. I had a very positive experience with you, but I never was the type, I can't talk about another man's business. So I never could do an interview and talk about what's happening with that's I felt like that was some shit that was between you and Hop. So I couldn't really, that's just how I am. I couldn't really go out on the ledge and speak on Hop's business or speak on your business. And this was just how I felt, man. Like I had such love and still do have such love and appreciation for y'all that it was hard for me I can't choose a side. It's like, man, I hate it had to be like this, but I fuck with both of the niggas.
It's a hard position.
In his defense, no, I'm just kidding. But like, Jarren was put in a hard spot too. Obviously, you were. Everybody was negatively affected, right? So, like, I don't know. I mean, Jarren, didn't you feel like in that sense, which was like, fuck, I don't know what to do. Not even in terms of like, people I care about, but also like, shit, what am I supposed to do right now?
My career.
What's my move?
Yeah, I had to figure my shit out too.
For sure.
Well, I'm glad that you're able to, you know, like, you know, rebuild and be what you're doing with the comedy piece, especially because, you know, it sounds like there's a lot more peace of mind around that. But I think we should switch gears a little bit. What's up with the stock shit, bro? We're taking losses, man. Are you on this game?
Nah, I just made my first. I don't really. I got out of stocks and stuff like when I started Funk Volume, actually, because and I'm not encouraging people to do this, but I was like, I'm gonna put my money in businesses that I can control and feel like I have more control over. You know, with the stock market, especially the way games are being played now and things are being manipulated, it's a game, and it's not really about the fundamentals of a company. Of course, when you're investing long term, you want to invest in solid companies and let it ride over a long period of time. But I just felt more comfortable investing in me, and it paid off, you know, in Funk Volume until it didn't.
You said you were gonna have some tips, Max. What the fuck?
Who said tips?
You said he was gonna have some fucking tips, bro.
No.
I just invested in Bitcoin for the first.
Oh shit.
I'm not relatively late, but you know, from what I understand, I'm not that late. I mean, obviously, you know, if you were in it 5 years ago,
would you suggest us to invest in Bitcoin right now?
I'm sold.
He's sold.
I'm sold on it. I'm sold on it. So I made a recent investment, and I met this cat on Clubhouse because there's a lot of conversations about Bitcoin on Clubhouse. And then I heard him talking. So then I circled back to him. I said, hey man, let me just give you $150 to pick your brain for an hour. And it just made a lot of sense. And then I circled back to that same cat and said, yo, can you can you get on this Zoom session with my frat brothers so they can hear the same thing? So I put together a Zoom session with my frat brothers and because I can't sell you on, like, to me it makes sense. You know, and it's a lot safer because
Probably
more
good
people
enough for our fans. Yeah.
You have a business degree, is this correct?
Yeah, MBA.
Okay, so we're high school dropouts. That's why we wanted to
ask, it don't matter. Hey,
well, you know, I'm just saying, you know, we want a little bit of real knowledge and studiousness around our picks. But I know, Aaron, you also are kind of like on this new wave, right? What's popping with this shit?
Oh, I just like the drama. I just like knowing like little weird autistic trolls are like fucking with the Wall Street shit. It just entertains me really. And I'll dabble. I'll throw some money in on like shit for shits and gigs. I've had a couple friends get really into it. But I like to play around. I just like the idea of these trolls.
What's the new shit, bro?
No, to be honest, real quick, like last Sunday, so it was like the day before GameStop went, phew, he told me, oh, yo, you should go invest some money in GameStop. I was like, get away from me. The next day, it goes up like 600%. Thursday in the morning, because he's my roommate. He was like, yo, you should get this meme cryptocurrency called Dogecoin. I was like, get away from me. That day it went up 800%. So
I just know
what's the next hot tip.
I just know where the little
don't put it out in public. Don't put it out. Tell us behind the scenes.
Next time I'm listening to Aaron.
You just gotta go where the trolls live, and they'll tell you everything you need to know about whatever meme currency is going on.
Yeah, what's happening is a lot of the little people are, you know, congregating on Reddit and what have you, and they're building up enough momentum to move the market, in which what, you know, hedge funds can do by themselves, you know, but now all the little guys are getting together, making the same moves and shifting momentum in one direction. And you know, I think it's dope to see, and I look forward to seeing the movie that I'm sure is going to get made.
They're definitely doing a movie.
They're already in talks about it.
It's like a week old. It's already going to happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dame, I know you ain't got much time. I just want to ask you one.
I don't know how long you guys go, but I got like 15
Dame,
more minutes.
Dame is a unique individual to me, man. I never met Dame is a one of one.
I see a joke.
What was Dame like, man? What was early teenage Dame?
That's what I wanted to know.
What were you into?
Good question.
What age?
I'm gonna say 16 to 21. That's a big gap, but
that's a big gap. I mean, in high school, you know, I got really good grades, but played sports. So I was, you know, captain of the baseball team, captain of the basketball team.
How was you captain of the basketball team, man? You trash.
So I mean, I was cool with it. I was cool with everybody. I kind of just kept, but after school, I just go to practice and go home. I thought high school was kind of boring. We didn't really have like too much fun stuff popping off in high school. So I just went about my business. I was cool with people, and you know, was just looking forward to game day. And that's about it.
Did you after high school? Was you ever doing any crazy dumb shit?
Nah, I can't really say I was doing dumb shit. Like I mean, I had a lot of fun in college, you know, but I wasn't wild. I probably didn't even start drinking until probably junior year or junior year.
That was when you had your first drink ever, or just in general?
That was Tommy's.
Junior year of college was when you?
Junior, I think.
Wait, were you in a frat that whole time, just not drinking, just like hanging out?
I joined my fraternity when I was in a junior.
Oh, okay. So that's when
this shit right.
And you know, a lot of people drink. You know, black fraternities drink too, but it's not the same. It's not the same stereotypical frat scene, and you know, we're not, you know, turning upside down and drinking beer and like that's not.
Were you stepping?
That's not what we did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, hey, that's nigga in the E40 video.
The name of love.
Yeah, we were in the E40 video. So I was.
Oh shit!
I was the first person from Funk Volume on BET.
Oh shit!
Hey, I got you beat. I was the first person on Funk Volume on MTV. I was on Your Mama. I didn't want people to know that, but now they know.
Your frat was stepping on BTS. So did you do a competition? Are you nice with it? Let's see some shit, bro. No.
It's been a while. My knees are a lot older, and I haven't stepped in. The stepping that came on BET, that was through an E40 video, quarterbacking.
That's dope.
Yo, I have a quick question. Like, I don't understand the comedy game that well, but like it seems to me, okay, so like for musical artists, they kind of and people may have their strengths or whatnot, but they kind of need to be on top of streaming and touring. You don't have like streaming artists versus touring artists. Really, I mean, they're all doing all of it. It seems like with comedy, there's more like sketch versus stand-up. Is that real, or do all of them do both, and maybe people have their strengths, or is there really kind of a divide of types?
I think there's pockets and there's some people that cross over and do stand up. I mean, there seems to be a rift between like traditional stand up comedians and the internet folks, the guys and girls that are making it on the internet first and then going over into stand up. I know some traditional comedians are looking at that like, some are jealous, some are embracing it. There's just a lot of conversation around that. I've heard that in Clubhouse. But my guys are stand-up comedians as well as sketch comedians. But it is kind of a cheat code, right? Because if you get super popular online and now you go to tour, people are already expecting to laugh because they know even as soon as you get on the stage and you make certain expressions or yell out certain words that are part of your sketches, like you already kind of have them. As opposed to a traditional, I mean, unless the audience is already familiar with the comedian and their stand-up routine. But I think that's dope that you can kind of create, this kind of cheat code. It's not really a cheat code, but they put in work online, and then when they hit the stages, but I tell them also, it's like, look, you still got to work on your stand-up game because you're not always going to be in front of people that know who you are, that's seen your sketches. So your stand-up has to be able to stand on its own as a dope routine, and you can't lean on, the love you get from sketches.
Oh no, I just agree. It's funny because I think a lot of comics, it's this traditional comics we're behind. I think on a lot of the internet shit. Some of it's like coming around, I think, but like for the most part, we've been like, fuck that shit. Fuck the YouTubers, all those guys are whack. The TikTokers, and like popping, but they're popping off of it. And sure, maybe they're not as funny in a lot of ways as like a traditional comic who grinds for, but those people also have to grind for 10 fucking years to get that good at stand up,
Right. I mean, it's happening quicker for some. I mean, it's not necessarily, everybody's not putting in their 10,000 hours, but I'm listening to like Roy Wood, for example, Roy Wood Jr. He's on Clubhouse, and I've gotten to talk with him offline, and just hearing how he approaches stand-up and the art of it. I know that the internet comedians are not looking at their performances and not practicing their performances like he's talking about.
Yeah, right? He's next level though. He's like one of the best out there right now.
But I think if you want to be a stand-up, you have to like approach your craft the way he's doing, even if you do sketches. If you say you want to be in that category, if you want to be a Chris Rock or a Kevin Hart or Dave Chappelle, whatever, like these guys study their craft in a whole different way. And, I was just surprised at the attention to detail that he approaches his craft with, and like every word, every punchline, like it's impressive.
Yeah, no, well, you'll end up looking stupid. Like there's a lot of, even the girl from Broad City, I think, had a special. There's people who have these specials and you're like, this is awful. Like she's like dancing and like doesn't know really what, like that's not what stand-up is. It's not
like she's trying to bring more so a sketch kind of shit trying to bring that art form to a different ball game.
Yeah, or you can just also get blinded if it's like a bunch of people who love you, you can make a lot of money and seem really, you think you're really funny, until you get into a random crowd. Like a Roy Wood can make any crowd die laughing. He can murder any crowd. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have to be in front of his fans. He's not even necessarily like a household name, but he could probably crush at any comedy club across the country. He would crush.
I really enjoy working with Ja because, one, we've known each other for so long, but it's a world that like I feel is my world. Like I am a fan of what he does, even if I wasn't working with him. Like with Hopsin, I was a fan of his talent. I didn't really listen to his music. His music wasn't for me. I mean, the Funk Volume fan base definitely started to diversify you know, and it was a lot more different types of people that would come to the shows. And, you know, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody either. And it's not even about that. I'm just saying for like, if I didn't know Ja and he had a stand-up show, like I would go, right? If I didn't know Hopsin and he had a show, there's no way I would pay a ticket to go watch Hopsin. Like it's not taken away from him. I'm just not the target demographic. That's it. And I just feel, you know, Funk Volume was special to me because we started it from zero. You know, like as Ja, like I'm just his manager. I mean, I've let him know that I want to do other things, and I've proven to him that I can, you know, come up with ideas and things like that. And he's slowly like letting me be more involved from a creative standpoint. That's the strategy aspect and the creativity piece. Like I really want to do that. Like I'm gonna manage because I can do it and I can do it well, and I know he trusts me. You know, but shit, I want to write a movie too. I got some ideas for shows too. As soon as we get this popping, like I'm gonna be a producer, I'm gonna be a writer. Like that's what I'm really looking forward to.
So interesting.
Go write the Funk Volume life story.
No, but I have a similar thing is like, so my career before the music shit was sofas and furniture. I have no affinity for furniture like that. It was just had that opportunity, whatever. So now the difference is like, I am a rap fan. Like I enjoy rap music. So aside from like the actual work I'm doing, it's kind of similar. I'm emailing, I'm asking for stuff, I'm selling stuff, whatever. But the fact that the product is something that I actually like intrinsically enjoy, rap music, versus a product I don't care about, like in my core, furniture, it makes a huge fucking difference.
But there's a little bit of a difference with the Funk Volume Dame pairing, which I think is really interesting because as I, witnessed the conversation between you and Hopsin and talking about like Funk Volume fitness and all these things, it's really interesting because I can see how smart you are, Dame, and how you want to diversify, the business opportunities and maximize and capitalize on the dope shit that's available to you. But also it's kind of like because you're not dialed into that's not the music exactly for you. When I think of the Funk Volume canon, and I've heard a lot of it, it's like it's sort of this edgy, like almost like Eminem, plus, saying like where Eminem left off, y'all picked up and we're like off the wall, like really interesting, introspective, great flows. But like, it's like piss the world off shit. You know what I mean?
Yes, like that's Hopsin. And my goal was to always like allow Hopsin to build his brand out the way that he wanted to, but we had to diversify to not get pigeonholed in a particular lane, not because I didn't respect that lane or want those people, but because just from a business perspective, like, and I think I said this during the conversation, was by the time we had 10 artists, if you say you love hip hop, there's somebody on our roster that you rock with, right? That's how I was looking at it.
That was your plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense because you were saying that, a little later in Funk Volume before the end, like it was starting to diversify. Do you think part of that diversification was coming from Dizzy and his kind of slightly different fans and Jarren and his slightly different fans?
I tried to pick up Russ. I tried to pick up Russ. I tried to sign Russ. And when Jarren introduced me to Russ's music, I was like, Russ is perfect. Like, because
Russ, he's popping right now.
Huge.
You don't know who Russ
is. His name is Russ, R-U-S-S.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just say something to everyone right now? This pisses me off because, like, you know how many motherfuckers are popping right now? They're like, oh, you didn't hear
I'll give you that.
Mozzie, he's popping. Oh, Schliggy, he's
Mozzie is kind of bopping.
I know.
I'm gonna give you that.
Give me that. Come on, Jarren, give me that.
I'll give you that because there's a lot of rappers that I hear about somebody popping. I was like, I never heard of him. But Russ was a dude. How many people did he? I don't even think he had any fucking that many views on his shit when we met him.
Yeah, no, and I'll give you the benefit of the doubt too. The only difference is like Russ could damn near do a stadium run. Like the other guys you're talking.
Yeah, he sold out Staples Center.
Yeah, Russ is a lot bigger.
Another motherfucker. I swear to God, in a week is gonna be another person that's Russ level that they're gonna be like, yo.
No. There's not.
Russ is
There's not gonna be another Russ like
that's
every week. Like,
all right, that's on me. I'll take that L.
It's because of his independence and all this other stuff, and he makes.
Okay, how about this? Russ versus what's his name? Strange Music Guy. Tech Nine. Who's bigger?
Oh, Russ
is bigger than Tech Nine.
Way bigger. Yes.
Tech Nine is prime. Okay, shit. That's what
the thing with Russ is crazy because I got hip to him. I think I want to say he gave a CD or something. Somewhere a friend of mine saw him at a gas station. And he's like, "Y'all heard this kid? This shit kind of dope." And so I went on YouTube and started looking. I don't even think he had any fucking views on this shit. I was like, yo, this shit is dope. And the same way with Dame, like I was always thinking like that too. Like, little do you know, like this how I felt. The fucked up thing, like what Max was saying, like even though after Funk Volume, I had that same feeling, like that dark place. Like I don't know what the fuck to do, how to revamp my shit from not having Funk Volume and not having that same platform there anymore. But I always thought, like, you know, if I get to the point where I don't want to do rap no more, Funk Volume is always going to be here. So I might transition into another role, maybe an exec with Funk Volume or do the A&R at Funk Volume. So I was always in that thinking like that too, because there was a bunch of artists I would always tell you about, like, yo, what about this dude? So Russell's happened to be one of those dudes as well. So I was like, I think this dude would be dope if we, you know, get him on. So Dame heard the shit and Dame fucked with it too. So Dame ended up reaching out to him.
Yeah, there's not, you know, I don't claim to be any type of Russell Simmons or Diddy, but like there's some people that are just special when you hear a consistency in every song. Like every song is like consistent. There's a young cat named Blast that's getting pretty popular on the West Coast.
He's popping now. Here we BLXT.
Fucking go. Yeah. And he got
you
it.
Haven't
too.
heard of Black?
So I don't expect Kyle to know Blast, but there's just a certain consistency that's special sometimes in artists, and that was Russ that I heard. I just like every song.
You know, you don't want to say I'm gonna claim this shit. I do claim to be some sort of Russell Simmons because I swear to God, I got a fucking ear, and everybody that I heard and I thought was special, they ended up popping from Russ to Joyner Lucas to I mean, I don't even know what the fuck On Q doing, but even we was gonna get him. We was gonna bring. I know you was, you know, we had that meeting with Just Blaze. We was gonna bring him on. He had a completely different sound. But I say that to say I was right there with you. I thought so too. Like I was getting to that point where I was feeling like, yo, I don't. And like I say, no disrespect to our fans, I love y'all, but I come from even though I might did, you know, my music was extreme. And I was influenced by other rappers that did extreme music. You still would see they had a certain coolness about them. And they had a certain, they attracted a certain type of people, regardless of how outlandish the shit was. And Funk Volume, and once I got introduced to y'all and I saw like a whole nother world, like, oh shit, I didn't know this. But anyway, I say that to say I wanted that too. Like I wanted like a well-diversified fan base. I wanted our shows to have everybody, to have music for everybody. So yeah, I feel you. I wanted the same shit.
Yeah. I think it's to your credit, Dame, that you wanted to have a broad base for them. I just think it's also kind of funny, like, you know, from like a bird's eye view of like, oh, this motherfucker want to do fitness, and they talking about like schizo shit, you know. So it's like, you know, but yeah.
No, I mean, if you think like the Funk Volume Fitness, number one, it wasn't something that was heavily promoted. Like I didn't have Jarren to promote it. It was more like I was all like bird's eye view. Like Funk Volume was supposed to be about being independent, being yourself, and supposed to have a positive impact on people, right? And to me, and that's why I started Funk Volume in the community. I put some of myself in the label as well in terms of like Funk Volume in the community, Funk Volume Fitness, but also these things. It wasn't completely just like, hey, Dame putting his imprint. These were things that I thought that we could use eventually. And this was something else I said in the interview. Like we start off with Funk Volume Fitness, and what we did was on a weekly basis, I would hire trainers and we would have a bunch of people working out in the park. So it'd be like 30, 40 of us working out in the park. That's all it was. And we had a website too that just had like a bunch of fitness information that got pulled from other websites. That's all it was. That's all it got to be before Funk Volume failed. But ultimately, I wanted to kind of infuse the music, and eventually Funk Volume Fitness would get big and have a reputation where I could approach LA Fitness or 24-hour Fitness or Crunch Fitness and be like, look, can we do a Funk Volume Fitness hour in your facility, right? And that way, it's just a Funk Volume, just the brand would be a lot more spread out. It'd be an opportunity to promote the music. We'd have a line of fitness wear. Like it's big, like, well, you have to start.
Once you have a brand opening that has some cachet,
I agree. I think it's interesting, but I also think that like when you think of rap, hip hop, people trying to be cool and shit, and when you think of the fitness world, it's not like a slam dunk pairing. You would have to pimp it in a way, which it sounds like you were trying to do, almost like some like Black.
Well, now it is. Well, now it is.
I was just going to say that now you can.
Now you got rappers starting juice shop, opening up juice shops. You got Ace Hood got his own workout regimen. Like we could have been ahead of the game.
Yeah,
we could have been ahead of all this shit. A lot more focus on mental wellness. Now, now it's okay to meditate and therapy. Like we could have been ahead of the game.
Yeah, it was good to meet you too, dude. But yeah, it's just funny meeting. If you just know what Funk Volume is, I would never expect a guy like you to be behind it. It looked so like
I'm gonna tell you what's so crazy,
but it's funny. Something like that, something doesn't get as big as that without some brain,
a very solid nuts and bolts business.
Exactly,
guy,
but like if you just hear the name Dame and like I remember I think hearing about it on songs, hearing your name and stuff, I pictured you as like some white guy with like gauges, like smoking cigarettes and wrangling the boys in a Waffle House. I never expected you to be like this, like robotic. I go to Clubhouse, I'm talking to guys, like I know what the fuck I'm doing. Like it's just interesting.
Clubhouse pisses me off too. That's just
Funk Volume, man, is weird as fuck because I'm gonna say it because in the inside, like in it, I don't realize like, oh shit, people view you like how you saying. I would have had, of course you could tell by some of the fans that come out, but still in the inside, I didn't know that people looked at us how you looked at, what I'm saying? How you would think like, oh, I think Dame is this dude with fucking ear gauges and crazy shit. I was so oblivious until, like I say, once I started looking at DMs and I was like, okay, I kind of got it. Yeah. But
I fuck with it though. I fuck with
it. We got bigger than our core, but we didn't last long enough to really break out.
No, we didn't.
I think people would be surprised, and even because I would talk with like the editor in chief of Complex, and they would post Hopsin's videos, and I think they even post Dizzy's once in a while, but like they didn't really support us. So I hit him up, and I was just like, "Yo, I see you." What'd you say?
I was gonna say they would fuck with me. I remember I did a couple of interviews with.
But they didn't really, and they told me straight out. They were like, "Well, Hopsin's counterculture, and we are sneakers, we are sports, lifestyle, and Hopsin is basically shitting on all that." Mm-hmm. So, but I also told him, I was like, "Look, man, you should come to one of our shows because I think you have a pretty limited perspective on who you think we are, because if you can't, especially an LA show, at the end, I would argue that it's not that much different than like a Kendrick show minus the women.
Facts.
What were you just talking about? I totally lost track of thought when Jarren. We were like we moved into a direction.
Joe Rogan.
I wanted to hear this Rogan shit, bro.
I fuck with Rogan, man. Why don't you fuck with Rogan?
I don't. His platform is super big and super influential, and there's a lot of problems with that, with giving that much power to a platform. And it's mostly like when he talks to MMA stuff and just like interesting topics, science. I love that, but it's more so the race conversations, because I don't think he's well versed in race relations, so I don't think he's able to ask the right questions, and he lets people just go, right? He just lets people go. So I would prefer, I don't mind him. He can bring on whoever. He can bring on, the KKK. It doesn't matter. Just balance it out with Cornel West or Mark Lamont Hill, or have somebody in the room that can ask them the right questions and balance it out, because he's just trying to maintain the relationship. He's not really trying to rock the boat that much, and he doesn't really know much about the topic, and he might even agree with the person. So he just lets him go. Just lets him go, riles him up, and his platform is too big and influential that it's a problem. It's a problem for me when they're talking about sensitive topics that there should be more perspectives in the room to balance it out.
But
that's my problem with it.
I fuck with Joe because he will have he had Cornel West on there. He'll have different perspectives. I think the thing I fuck with him, he don't necessarily. I never see Joe Rogan lean left or lean right or whatever. I think he just have whoever on the show, but I think that's what's dope. He'll give them that chance to speak. But I do like it. Like he'll go from having an Alex Jones on it. It said Bill Maher kind of do the same shit too. He'll have an Alex Jones and then have fucking Cornel West. So
I just wish they would have them at the same time.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say that's something that he's done it a couple times, and it's not as enjoyable, I think, as a listener. You know what I mean? Because they're like actually, but it is the most like informative, right? But it's not as fun as like hearing one side only get to go off. But it would be interesting to have like an Alex Jones and a Cornel West. That would be a great.
That's really funny because I have people in my life that I consider really, really smart on both sides of a lot of like hot topics. And I always wish that like, you know, if I'm hearing one of them talk and they're making great points and they're clearly sound of mind and they really believe one thing, and I have other people in my life that I believe the opposite and again are smart and have sound mind and care and are passionate, and I want to put them two in a room and just have them go at it. Like I don't want to like, and I often maybe will play devil's advocate to see but like I want them to like my smartest on this, my smartest on that, and hear them go at it. I just think it'd be really interesting to be able to do that. Obviously, I don't have the platform to.
Well, yeah, I mean,
facilitate that in that way, but
that's not his show necessarily. But and I see the idea of having the desire for that, you know, on the show. I just think that, you know, I don't have that fear, or I don't know what the word is, but that like if it's a huge platform and the wrong thing is said, I don't think it's like we're not talking about like some like Hotel Rwanda shit out here. I know that the wrong message I just kind of feel like, you know, there's balancing forces. We're gonna have the opportunity to like fucking express the other side or get the other side out the way we need to. You know what I mean? I'm not so worried that like that information is going to just poison the populace into a bunch of like racist zombies to come in. You know, it's already been fucked up forever.
Attacking Dame's fear.
I don't know.
I don't check for every interview because and maybe the ones that go viral are the ones that, you know, that bother me because and that's why they go viral. I just think it's a problem. He has a lot of influence, just like Elon Musk has too much influence. These people just have too much influence, and these platforms.
That wasn't the guy you paid $150 to talk to.
What's that?
Stock tips? That'd be fire. That was the guy you got.
It's like the no one man should have that much power type of thing.
It's some of the Bitcoin dude.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, man. When certain people have so much influence.
But I think Joe. I think you should give Joe another chance, man, because he have. I mean, he's just like Bill Maher. But the thing with Bill Maher, what he'll do is he will do what you say. He will have a fucking Ben Shapiro or
when he has his panel, he typically has like
different
a Democrat and a Republican. Like he'll have people with different views on the panel at the same time. I just wish that happened more with people that know what they're talking about, not like a doofus and somebody that.
But and Joe Rogan to say that too, he'll let people know like, hey, I'm
just a moron.
I don't know shit. He won't pretend to know something. He will let people know like, hey, I don't fucking know. So I think you know he's not gonna come in and you know, I see him fact check a couple people, but I don't know. I think you should give him another chance. I think because
man, it's dangerous. It's dangerous because a lot of people have the gift of gab, and you know, just because they sound confident, speak fluently, you know, they can convince a lot of people. It's the same thing that's happening on Clubhouse right now. A lot of people getting taken advantage on Clubhouse. Because people are
like Obama.
No, I'm just cracking up. I feel like Dame has seen like the dark side of like having a mass of white people follow, and he's like, do not let these people like. Do you know what we could have done at Funk Volume? We could have had him at the Capitol in 2015. This is not.
Well, also being on the other side of like that level of slander too, and like a massive amount of people fucking came at you because of some shit that was said, you know, and that. So
one of the effects, and I think it's a good thing actually, is like I'm much more sensitive to information. Like if somebody tells me something, I want to know how you know that to be true. Like I'm digging deep before
I'm on the same tip of that for sure. I feel you on that.
Right.
But you're probably doing a little part. You're like, no. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm always trying to like, nah. And I think everybody should take that approach to the internet. You hear something,
Yeah, I definitely take that approach. You gotta, especially when you're talking to certain people.
No, he doesn't.
What do you mean? I think that Jarren tends to be scrutinized with what people believe. Yeah.
Thank you.
Very much so.
I think all of us kind of do.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of
Jarren will see a video and be like, no, we need to see the full video. So like anything, he's kind of like he's always been like, but who knows if that's actually true.
Yeah, I'd be skeptical of everything. I want to hear all the sides. I want to, if I care that much, if I care to invest that much time. If not, I just don't have an opinion.
I believe Richard Pryor burned himself to be a monk.
No, I didn't say. I didn't. No. I didn't say he. I said I watched it.
Just giving you a hard time.
No, but listen. Go back to that. I said his bodyguard damn near alluded to that may have been what happened. I didn't say.
Oh yeah, I'll take you one further. I think that Jarren was saying that, questioning what the popular belief of what happened to Pryor was. So he was being skeptical.
Thank you, Kyle, my nigga.
Well, I think we need to let Dame go.
All right. Yeah, Phil, I got to run. You got any last question or want me to
just shout out, moving forward, man, what the movement is, how people can, reach you the best, and that type of thing, so we can,
Yeah, if you're an artist, don't reach me. The Music Entrepreneur Club, if you are an artist and you're looking to really learn the business, we have dope sessions every week. It's free, open to the public. Just tap in with us on IG at Music Entrepreneur Club. If you want to check out the comedians I manage, just follow me on Instagram, dame.mec. Everything I do is in my bio. So the text marketing company, foundation, everything that I'm a part of is in my bio on Instagram. So you can tap in with me there.
Dope. Dude, thank you so much, man. That was a lot of good shit, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. I think you're gonna have Hops fans coming at me again. So
we're gonna do some.
I'm gonna heavily.
We're gonna do some. We're gonna do some nice editing.
Yeah.
We're just gonna. I love Hopsin.
Yeah.
Damn. Quick question, Dave. I remember you told me you was gonna smoke weed one day. Have you smoked weed?
Nah, not yet.
Okay.
Are you still? Is that still a plan of yours?
At some point, it's not.
Not pressing.
Doesn't seem pressing.
Can I please be there when you first smoke weed?
I don't know. It might just be my girl. Like I don't.
Okay.
I don't know if I trust you.
I like your honesty, bro. I like your realness. Yo, thanks again, brother.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Later.
Should we read some? Should we end up with? Oh wait, we didn't do y'all's weeks.
How was your week? Go ahead.
Well, that's why it was the whole stock thing. I brought it in because I did invest for the first time in my life, in this stock, man, this Doge, and it was too late, bro. And I feel some kind of way because I feel like the people that I heard from was like the hood type of folks, that we, clients and things, and I thought, okay, it's gonna pop off, but by the time the hood hears, it's over, and all of the fucking Reddit nerds have already already sold and made their money, and obviously the hedge fund. So the ones who lose are the hood, and I feel like it's the way I liken it is stock market white flight.
He's been saving that line.
So it's
I've
like
been saving it forever.
You're saying
it's stock market white flight. It's the white Reddit nerds mostly, right? Who like are about that life and they're like, yo, the people got to get behind it now. Let's pump it. But by the time the people get behind it, they've pumped it and they've already sold it. And now the people are ass out.
So I will say Doge is a little different than the other ones, right?
Okay.
Doge.
Before you say something, Aaron, don't tell anybody about whatever it is that you got to tell us.
I got you. I'll put it in the high school dropouts chat whenever. But Doge is a little different, right? So GameStop was the thing that was getting everyone hyped up, along with AMC and Nokia, where you were directly causing hedge funds to lose money on their shorts, forcing them to cash out and take their losses.
Gotcha.
Doge was more of like a fucked up thing where people were pumping and dumping, right? Like it was like I knew when the pumps were going to happen based on like Twitter trends and like what people were saying.
Yeah.
But it was more of like a fun thing, right? It wasn't like if anything, it was more of a distraction from getting people hyped up on GameStop and all this other stuff that was the short squeeze. No juice was getting squeezed from Doge. It was just a fun thing. It
seemed like they were all like kind of that information was disseminated as like the same package. You know what I mean? Like it was almost like this is the package that's being put out on the streets. But
it wasn't in
because we're excited about like stocks now all of a sudden type shit.
But I think it was different than what the Wall Street Bets people were doing, right? So like the Wall Street Bets people were doing serious stuff. Doge was like, I think people were like, oh, people are hyped up on this. let's get them hyped up on Doge where we can make a quick buck real quick and pump it up. You know?
Yeah, this might be your fault for getting your stock tips from some high dude walking out of our studio.
I thought he
to be
fair,
fair,
he was on
like,
some shit, man. You know,
yeah, for
James
sure,
said
but
some
like,
folks got the gift of gab. I was convinced, bro. Like he was like, "Yo, I'll put you on some shit." You know what I mean? I thought it was the last time.
Yeah,
I mean,
he pumped you and dumped you.
But I got pumped and dumped.
But I think a lot of people didn't know that either necessarily that it was going to be. But
so did I.
It was people being hyped up on other stuff. I think people were trying to do some dirty stuff and get things hyped up. It wasn't to the core of what GameStop was in principle.
I get what you're saying.
Even like you weren't supposed to sell today, and everyone sold.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be hold the line. Let's get them.
I've seen something to where there's a black mother and a son. I think he bought like $300. I could be wrong with the number. The shit went up to $6,000 or some shit like that.
Yeah, it was
our story.
Yeah, man. Well, that was the one token, situation, right? That hold up the token black success, and then the rest of us fucking go down the drain. But that was that, and I think I got depressed. Not just that, it was like some shit with.
Did you invest a lot of money?
Not a lot for me. Yeah. And
fucked up too.
Yeah. And so at the end of the day, that I was feeling a little low, not just from that, but I think just quarantine bullshit. You know what I mean? I had my friend Velia, who was in our peanut gallery. Her and her daughter came. They knew I was depressed. I let them know I was a little depressed. They came and they cleaned my house, bro. Mexicans, love them. No.
That is a real thing. To be honest with you,
you're just saying they happen to be Mexican. What are you talking about?
No, well, he was saying.
I'm just laughing because it seemed very a stereotypical joke, kind of.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, there is a thing in Mexican culture for sure. They keeps it clean, bro.
No, they have honestly.
Let me say this, and you can take it. We're gonna definitely cut.
I wasn't even thinking about the. Oh, my fault.
They can clean, but when I did pest control and I went to. I'm not even gonna go there. Let's just.
All I'm gonna say, I was not trying to say like, Mexican like house cleaning motherfuckers.
That was an accident.
I was trying to say that they're Mexican, so they see a friend in distress and they like cook for them and clean for them and show love. That was
they didn't cut. They live in the Bay. It's not like they came over one morning because he was sad and they lived 20 minutes away. They came like 5 hours. Bro,
and cleaned my crib and fucking took me to the Pinata district and shit. You know what I mean? I bought Max a Pinata.
Empty Pinata. The fuck am I gonna do with an empty Pinata? I came home.
Fill it and give it to your girlfriend who you keep starting fights with about fucking arbitrary.
Yeah, put some of her favorite snacks in there.
Yeah.
And say, hey, this is the stress pinata. All the times you want to hit me, take it out on this. And she take her anger and it busts open, and it's her favorite shit to come out.
We're giving you gems right now.
Gerontology.
And now I can't. That's good. I can't because now she'll hear it on the podcast. So I got to do the opposite.
Yo, ultimately, that was
hit her with the pinata and then fucking shower her with gifts after she's fucking cleaning up her black eye and shit.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That went
dark. That would be the opposite. Jesus. That would be the opposite of letting.
I was just thinking I won't give her the pinata.
That went dark. Anyways, that was my day.
Shout out though to the Mexican culture and Latin culture. Yeah. They really do. Like I work with a lot of Mexicans and they really are the best. Like if you're going through something, they're like, go home, get out of here. Like they just. It's different.
And it's food and cleanliness, which are two things that actually do really help when you're feeling down.
Oh yeah.
Clean up your space and just to eat some shit.
The lady I work with, if she ever cleaned my house, it would be the most pristine. Like she doesn't fuck around. She breaks broom every week.
I have
scrubs it. Like
yo, I'm not even. And I know it's fucked up. It sounds fucked up, but like I lived in Mexico for 4 years, and those like they know what kind of broom to get. Like they're like it's like
it was crazy. I have a cleaning service. They clean my shit once a month. Some Mexican ladies, and they do a fucking fantastic job.
I had some Russian chicks in New York come. I did a cleaning service. They were trash.
We had a Russian here. Trash.
But dude, if
the crackheads a little
if there was something dirty on the table, you had the same rag, same cleaning chemical. She would be able to do both stains here. It would look so much better on her.
You know, so they use
white people quarterbacks, black people basketball, Mexican people.
No. See, now Max is
trying to
yeah. I'm not saying it's not. That just happens to be one part of the culture.
Yeah.
Obviously, one of the richest persons in the world, Carlos Slim, is Mexican, so it's a whole different thing. Yeah. And why? Because he takes that cleaning philosophy and he cleans up the fucking market.
Yeah.
No, he's just.
Now Mexicans, bleep this out. This just between. I'm saying this now. Just cut this out.
Okay.
I wish they would apply that same shit to their own houses.
See. There are some dirty Mexican scenarios.
Because I've been in so many.
But that's a whole different. No. just like those dirty black scenarios, dirty white. There is what I'm trying to say is a dirty Mexican crib is specifically a dirty Mexican crib in its way.
It's
like
just a dirty Mexican crib.
When Mexican folks let it go, when Mexican folks let it go, they let it go in a very Mexican way. It goes way out.
Yeah.
And I got neighbors like that, and like it gets crazy.
And what would really disappoint me to find out that those, my man ain't Mexican, is he?
Who are you talking about?
The engineer.
Oh no, he's gone too.
No, he's Thai.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that's right. He's Thai. The Thai boy.
They're the Mexican. They're the Mexicans of Asia.
Yeah.
Are they?
I got
Philippines, maybe, but yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Now I was like, that'd be sad. I don't know, get into it. Yeah, there's stereotypes. Not all fucking Mexicans are dirty. Not all blacks are dirty.
No, I said,
but black. I would say it's blacks and Mexicans can clean their ass off,
and they can also dirty the fuck out of the cribs. Right, both
whites can too. Whites are on another level,
but it's all in specifically different ways. They have different.
I do like
features.
that idea. It's funny. It's like, yes,
spot the difference between like the 3 dirtiest houses. One's a black person's house, one's a white person's.
I'm gonna tell you some shit you've seen in white people's house though. I've seen dirty white people. When I used to do pest control, white people do this shit, and this is crazy. They let their dog shit in the house.
Oh yeah, you're gonna see dog shit in a white person's house.
Yeah.
Yes, which is crazy.
Which it's crazy too, like multiple spots. Not even like
multiple fucking
the
spots.
dog shit there on Tuesday. The dog shit there in December.
Okay, so the white dirty house has dog shit. What is the Mexican dirty
and
house?
Dog hair, cat hair, and shit. And it smells like fucking dog. And
the Mexican dirty house.
It's hoarders,
tecates, like
roaches like a motherfucker.
Well, you know that as exterminator. Yeah. Well, they have the tecates, which has a high sugar content where the roaches enjoy.
A lot of cooking too in Mexican culture, so probably brings more necessarily pest.
Yeah.
A lot of
house go smell straight like tortillas. I'm not being funny. I swear that this is my experience. I've been in a lot of
in dirty Asian scenarios.
There's dirty Asians?
You go to Asia, bro. You go to bathrooms in Asia.
You're gonna find a lot of fake Gucci purses in the corner.
Well, but the bathrooms in certain, like especially if you go to like the India scenario or Nepal or whatever, it's like the bathroom. They don't give a fuck. Like it's just, you walk in and it's just like you just walked in the gloomiest piss shit stickiness, and it's like even in a nice crib, it'll be a nice crib. Everything's clean. You go to the bathroom, shithole.
Poop. What about in a dirty black house?
It's gonna be some fucking. You go find somebody go have a pot of grease that they've been using for months. It's gonna be dirty.
There'll definitely be hairs. Like there definitely
yeah.
Someone shaved their shit and there's naps in the corner and shit.
Cars and shit in the yard. Old ass cars.
That's any. That's it. Well, that's any. I think poor
cars in the yard is
somewhat
like universal.
Something about being poor and just wanting to have
collecting shitty cars.
You gonna have that one uncle that's fucking been living with grandma for the longest and he likes to watch black and white old movies. And he drinks a lot.
Okay, so Mexicans will have like old shit, like a TV from 1980, or like a bunch of old weird. They just won't get rid of vintage shit.
I picture them collecting a lot of stuff, or maybe it's just the lady I work with. She like collects Snoopy stuff, and I'll be like, "What is that?" And she like gets real defensive about it, and it's like, "Why do you have 20 different Snoopy hoodies and like Snoopy trinkets?" It's like
I think both whites and blacks there will be a lot more like weird takeout food wrappers.
Yeah.
Different types of takeout usually between whites and blacks. You'll see a lot of Popeyes in the black person's house.
You're gonna see some roaches too in the black person's house.
In the building, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Mexican people don't really fuck with like other food, really. Like if you have that, like if your parents were from Mexico, even your grandparents, I think it's like passed down. It's like
burritos.
You don't fuck around with like anything else, but like rice, beans.
Well, there's also dirty levels, many levels to dirty white.
Yeah.
And dirty black, but specifically dirty white. Like you have like Max dirty white. And Max is a bit of dirty white, and so in his crib it's not going to be like hillbilly style.
It's gonna look like the inside of his fucking car.
Right. It's going to be Red Bull cans and maggots that are inside of like high end Thai food.
No, like in my house. No. Car's a little bit different. Again, that car with that situation.
I'm not talking about your car. I wasn't saying cars.
There's no old food in my house like that. Food, no. Clothing.
You'll see a bunch of fucking Red Bull cans, a bunch of fucking cigarette cartons.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there might have been food if people didn't throw it away for them.
No, because there's no food like in my.
Well, what about your kitchen? Like when you have your.
I haven't cooked ever.
Well, he did cook the other week, and left the grease and just sit there.
Don't you use that?
he just literally cooked like vegetarian sausage patties with like the most weird way, you like flipping them all weird, and then just left the grease.
That's the idea of like
you use the grease.
That's sort of like a middle class white dirty white.
There's more of a range of white mess.
Within the white mess,
not range, but like there's levels. Like
I feel like most middle class black folks and up are like, yo, I'm keeping my shit clean, and a lot of it's because like, I don't want these white people to try to come at me and say, and act like I don't belong here.
Yeah, no, I think any people that I meet that aren't white, it seems like that's the case, and a lot of the white people, it seems like there's like whatever, if it's clothes, even anything on the floor, a little more. But
the poor blacks, they'll let it go on an even deeper level, like fuck the world, fuck the man, fuck everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, like
I was saying too,
their own shit on the floor.
It's weird in my family. Everybody was always, even the men, everybody was super clean. And it was like everything has to be spotless. If you go to my grandma's house, anybody's house, everything just looks spotless.
Yeah.
Like that's always been a thing. And they get on our ass for fucking when we were young for not
y'all were clean. But y'all were clean ones. I'm talking about the dirty
clean.
So there's clean again in all class levels. There's clean people. There's like people who are like, nah, impeccable. And I think that poor clean people, whether black, white, Mexican, what have you, tend to be like next level because they're trying to say, hey, like just because we ain't got loot don't mean that we don't take pride in our space type shit. So
I was in jail with this guy, my bunkmate. He was like 50-year-old black man from Memphis, right? And drove semi trucks. That man took clean to another level. Like every day I'd wake up, dude, he would be fucking bleaching the floor, cleaning. He would tell me that he would put
that's how my family is
in his bath, like just a little. He's like, just to be really clean.
That's like, how you are, right? You keep
I'm
it
like that. Hell yeah. My shit I'm this way, bro. I can't go to sleep with dishes in the fucking my kitchen has to be clean before I go to bed. Like I'm gonna clean up the kitchen. I'm fucking Windexing all this shit down, Windexing the countertops, Windexing the stove, sweeping the floor. Everything I want to wake up in there. I want to wake up and come and everything look put the fucking together.
But also, what part of that is that you were an exterminator and like what the fuck is up if you leave anything out? You know who's coming out.
I think that do play a part of it. I will say.
You know who's coming out, bro. Like what's you know what I mean? Like who likes what? Like some of these motherfucking raccoons will even enter the building. Like what?
I will definitely give you that, Kyle. A big part of it does come from my experience when I used to do pest control, seeing shit and knowing what happens if you don't clean shit and knowing what type of shit you attract. Also, part of I think is my mom's DNA too, because my mom is a super fucking clean freak, and I kind of became OCD to an extent.
To that degree, yeah. I mean, Max, it's interesting because we all like the three of us, keep it relatively clean. I may be the messiest of the three of us, right? Matt, I'm not like super messy, but I keeps it a little bit, bachelory. Max can't even be in the room right now. That's how fucking wow.
How messy. Yeah, he was like, he can't even talk about cleanliness. He's like this
really bums him out. And
is that why he left?
No, he said he had. I think it is.
I think partially, yes.
It is funny, and I hope he walks in when he hears. I just think it's funny that he's like, "There's no food." It's like, look, because I clean up behind you. You know what I mean? Like, of course, it's not like the dishes.
Now, I will say this though. Now, if I rewind it when I was married, my fucking ex-wife would say I was messy.
Okay, really?
But it wasn't that I was messy. Is that I would clean up shit when.
Was that we died? Right when Max enters the room,
he froze.
But who? Because we froze too. Y'all froze. So I'm the only one who didn't freeze right now.
No, you're frozen too. Everybody's frozen on.
So who really froze? Like whose connection went off?
I'm not doing anything.
So right now everyone's frozen, but you guys, for you?
Yeah.
All right. Let's finish up, but did you want to talk about your week or?
Wait, hold on.
Did you yet?
Let me do. We're just okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we're good.
How was your week, Aaron?
My week was fantastic. I went on a nice bike ride today in Venice.
You look like a bike rider, man. You're like a guy who have a bike with a basket on it.
It kind of did actually. It was one of those. It was pink. It was my buddy's girlfriend's bike, is what I got stuck with. But it was nice, just getting out on the beach, hanging out in Venice, which is just disgusting right now.
Really?
Did you step in human shit?
I mean, I just drove.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I mean,
tents.
They stopped policing. They can't move homelessness anymore because of the COVID restrictions. There's been so many shootings now at the pier too, because like gang people are coming in to sell drugs to the homeless, and they're like getting territorial over their
my homeless people.
over their clients.
California turned to a real fucking like 80s or late 70s fucking movie, like The Warriors or some shit.
Dude, it's like apocalyptic over there. Like legitimately, like handball.
Yeah, handball courts. Yeah,
it's into like homeless apartments now. They've got it like decked out. They're like, these 3 walls are better than nothing. Like it looks like homeless people have claimed them completely.
Wow.
I mean, it is a party over there. It is like,
wow, it's wild out there.
yeah, it's wild. It's so funny too. Like right when you get into Santa Monica, nothing. But or even like Marina Del Rey, they're like, I think they pick them up and just take them to Venice. They're
so
just
Venice
like
is the shithole again. That's great.
I know. I kind of like it too. I'm like, that's fucking good.
That's really funny. Yeah, I was there for like a second because I was nearby and we went to Venice for like a second and then we dipped. It was just like there's a billion people. It was a mess.
A billion people, just tents everywhere.
Yeah.
I liked it. What else happened this week? I think, just the bike ride today was so nice.
That's dope.
You get out of the house.
Did you whistle while you were riding that bike?
No, you know what I did have to do that? I had to like wear my mask a lot of the time because I was scared of getting roasted over there. Like there was people running with their mask on.
That's crazy.
It's like
getting roasted.
Yeah, I was scared of like someone.
What a weird combo. Like there's all the homeless, but then there's also the wokies
with their fucking mask on while they're running, and it's like, dude, just
that's crazy.
Relax. It's like, we get it. You believe women. Like relax. It's not that serious. You know what I mean? Like
this is when I'm so happy I'm from the South and I live in the South.
Yeah, because that shit is ridiculous. But whatever. So I was like going back, and even my buddy was like, "Yo, if my girlfriend asked, we wore our masks the whole time."
Wow.
I was like, dude, it's not that. Like, I get it if you want to like be. I get some, but come on, let's not.
Hey man, shout out to your homeboy, man.
Yeah, I know.
He went out bad with that one. I'm gonna be honest with you.
For real.
Jesus, come on, fam.
I know he was. Fuck it, he'll never listen to this. He was telling me, I was like, it seems like your relationship's going well. Like she's posting how much she loves you on Instagram, and he was like, that's just why I look like a bad guy if I ever leave. He was like, she's awful. I was like, he was like, yeah, she's setting it up to be like, why am I always alone? I told everyone how much I loved them.
Do you think that in these situations that it's more the girl who's like kind of like the weenie about the mask situation, or you know what I mean, or like the more paranoid about COVID, and then the dude is end up like, yo, we gotta wear a mask, or vice versa?
I think it's 50-50. It depends on how woke. It
depends on the degree of wokeness.
Exactly. It's
like, is there just a dirty bitch who just like, yo, my dude wants me to put this mask, but like I ain't.
I've seen it. I've seen guys like have their like one of those tight fucking masks on, like taking it super serious.
Trisha.
Yeah, and she's just like, what? I just want to fucking walk, dude. Like,
I got a hot topic, and this pisses me off, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack from women on this one. Whack ass show out of here.
I love these guys. Another great episode. Oh, yeah, right. Kyle needs a haircut though.
Oh, I know who that was.
Where?
My barber.
Good. Hey, great advertisement.
Thanks for answering my question. Pretty good episode for a quickie, bastard. Any 2021 predictions? We're gonna pop off.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Funny ass episode. Brass Knuckle Benton. What's up with the shout out? Been with y'all since season 1, episode 1.
What's his name?
Slum American 6 Brycey.
Shout out to Slum American 6 Brycey.
Kane, consistent commenter, a lot of laughing. We got a lot of comments from last week, actually. Hold on. Wait, that's the wrong episode. I want to read some more of them. Give me a second.
Hey, let me also put a disclaimer. Ladies, by any means, I'm just bullshitting. I'm just turning up for the podcast sake. But I do understand that there may be abuse, and it's not a game, and it is to be taken serious. And
Well, I think it's good that we are exploring all sides of shit, man.
We're just playing devil's advocate. Obviously, we support the women. All right. A Boogie Raps just finished episode 4 of the Golden State Killer documentary on HBO that Jarren was talking about. This shit is getting good. I hope he meant our podcast, but I think he meant the documentary.
Podcast.
Someone wrote, "Yo, that ending. What was the ending from last week?"
Maybe they were talking about
the. I think everyone's just talking about the documentary.
No. This person. Kyle's 40. Damn. Great episode as always, guys. And then the guy who wrote, "Yo, great ending," wrote N-word ancient.
I'm lost.
He called me ancient. They call me old out here because I'm 40.
Love this shit.
Well, if you guys knew my real age, you would shit yourself because I'm 57.
Nunchucks and neck tats sound like a sequel to razor blades and steak knives. Shout out to Aaron for keeping his trench coat in the closet and being a real one.
I like that comment.
Fuck with it.
Good comment.
Yeah, and then he added later, he wrote, "I don't feel like M can branch out like you guys say because he's cornered himself without knowing it."
Oh shit! I read that.
Jay-Z gave Kendrick advice to do something different early in his rise, and that's how To Pimp a Butterfly came. M might not be able to do that because it's too late for the masses, like what he calls revival, but that was a mess.
Interesting. Very academic.
Yeah. Another one. Y'all should bring in Joe Rogan to teach Aaron Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We'll get in touch.
Not if Dame has anything to say about it.
Yeah.
Dame got to go back and watch Joe because I don't get that.
He don't. I think he's only read.
I honestly
headlines.
think he got slandered by someone saying shit to the masses on a platform, and he's like, it's dangerous. That's how
I think also he probably reads just the headlines of like, if you read just headlines, you're like, he's kind of a racist who hates trans people and hate like that's what you would think.
And that's dangerous if someone talks about you, and I don't want that to happen to me again.
It took me this long to notice the doorknob to Aaron's left. Shout out our doorknob. Aaron, have you noticed it?
Yeah.
Let me see. I never noticed the doorknob.
Oh, that's a good doorknob, bro.
That's a good doorknob.
Oh, you can't see it still. I still don't think
they wanted to put the cheap, like fake gold one in, and we said, "Now we got that steel shit."
When the episode started and Jarren was wearing the wig, I knew this Captain Rambo shit was going to be Molotov. Keep grinding, guys. The shit about to bubble.
I wasn't paying any attention. I had no idea that the lady on Marvel, Captain Rambo.
I think it's great. We had no fucking idea that's
Captain Rambo.
We got to get the meeting of the two Captain Rambos, bro.
I hang dogs from trees so I can raise the roof.
You read that the last podcast.
Okay.
Now we're recycling.
That was that. Okay. And that's our episode.
We did good. Shout out Dame.
Shout out Dame.
Great job.
Hey, we're gonna do a lot of heavy editing on that episode.
No editing.
I'm
We're
gonna
going
get hot,
raw.
No, I think all we have to edit is the is where he talks about Trump. Once that happens, then that's where the heavy
double down.
Before it wasn't as bad, but from Trump on, some feeling.
Yes.
Double down on high school dropouts. Double down on high school dropouts.
We want this Funk Volume album to happen.
Like
High school dropouts
and subscribe.
Subscribe to us.